Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. This is Tarot by Melissa, and in today's reading, we're going to be looking into what energies are coming through for you in this upcoming month of February. So in this reading, I will be working with tarot and oracle cards as well as charms and dice. All of that will be time-stamped in the description box below in case you'd like to fast forward to any specific type of tool that you prefer to view for yourself. But really, we're just going to take a look into what's ahead for you, what major themes are coming through for you in the month of February. Getting into our disclaimers, keep in mind, you guys, that this is a general reading, so some messages may resonate quite specifically and accurately to you and your situation. Others of the messages might not. So if it doesn't feel like it fits your situation, simply just release it and let it go. If it doesn't apply, let it fly. Don't let it get you upset. If you all did want to book a personal reading, all the details on how you can book one with me are linked in the description box down below. So we are going to go ahead and get into our pile selection. So I have a little rune here to represent each pile. So for pile number 1, we have this rune here, which the keyword for this one is generosity. For pile number 2, the keyword of this rune here is inspiration. And for pile number 3, the keyword for this rune here is humanity. So I want you guys to take a deep breath. Think about your upcoming month of February and what's in store for you. What do you need to know? Go ahead and select the card or the rune that you feel the most intuitively connected to, really choosing with your gut instinct which one's really calling to you intuitively. Once you've made your selection, you can scroll down to the description box below to locate the timestamp that will take you to your selected pile. See you there. Hey, pile number 1, if you all selected this rune right here, which the keyword for this one is generosity, this is going to be your reading for the upcoming month of February. So we're going to see how this kind of ties into your messages, but let's go ahead and put your cards here on the table, see what we're working with. So you guys have the message of strength coming through. We have a 2 of emotions, which is the 2 of cups. And then we have the North Node coming up for you guys as the overall energy. So let's just get started here and see what we're getting. So I feel like with the North Node being here, this is like a pretty major pivotal month for you, pile 1. The North Node can represent a really major shift, sometimes maybe even like a karmic shift. And the North Node, as this card indicates, is when we're kind of shifting into an area of growth or maybe even life purpose, right? It depends on, your North Node. You can find it specifically in your natal chart if you're curious to know, like, where your North Node is. That might be able to give you more insight into this reading. You can also look to see where the nodes are transiting your natal chart right now as well. Right now, they're on the Aries and Libra axis. So that could provide you some deeper insight as well. But the energy of this card, minus, looking at your chart, it's about shifting into the right direction in a sense. It's about shifting into your purpose. It's about growth, kind of getting out of your comfort zone a little bit and shifting into a new energy that you're destined to be shifting into. And I do feel like this shift has to do with relationships. Now, with the 2 of Cups here, for some of you, this could be representation of a specific connection with someone in your life, a specific person. With the 2 of Cups, this would indicate a harmonious connection that's really based on love. It doesn't have to necessarily be romantic love. This is not meant to be like a love romantic reading, but it could be for some of you. Take what resonates with you. With the Strength card being here, I think with generosity being the key word, I kind of feel like there's this new energy of shifting into almost like ensuring that before you give so much of yourself to another person, that you have that balance, right? Because I do feel that you all have been generous with your energy in the past in connections, but I almost feel like the generosity has been out of balance, right? Where maybe you've been overextending yourself and the other person is not really reciprocating or appreciating or meeting you halfway. The Strength card really talks about taming impulsive behaviors, right? Kind of holding back, refraining from just like jumping into something because it feels good or it's giving us that instant gratification in the moment. It's more reserved energy, right? And so I feel like this month you guys are stepping into this new energy of like, you know, when you're connecting with people, you want to make sure that there's that emotional harmony there first before you just start giving yourself away fully. And this could feel a little uncomfortable at first. It could feel kind of like, you know, I'm testing out this new me. I'm testing out this new energy. Like, I just feel with the North Node that you all have learned some sort of difficult lesson around this in the past. And in February, you're finally getting this opportunity to see, almost like test out your learning. You know what I mean? It's pretty interesting. The North Node is saying that you guys have already learned the lesson, right? And now it's time to, you know, shift into the new energy and not repeat old patterns or old mistakes. All right, now let's continue. I want to get a little more info here for pile 1. Sorry, guys. I'm like burning incense and it's like choking me right now. Okay, so let's go ahead and see what else pile 1 needs to know about the month of February and the energies that we have here. What else does pile 1 need to know about this upcoming month of February, Spirit? Truth be told. Ooh, we have attachments. Ooh, this is interesting. Let me pop this guy up here. So we have attachments. If you guys missed the intro as well, don't forget, we're also doing charms and dice. I'm going to have that timestamp below, so if you like to skip to that part, you can. Ooh, we have door to personal healing and happiness. Oh, I love this for you. So I want to say also, at the bottom of the deck, you guys have the goddess of the moon, and underneath of that, we have the man holding a heart. So the goddess of the moon is really a beautiful energy because this energy kind of talks about listening to your gut instincts, like attuning to your intuition and allowing your intuition to guide you. Even if in the moment when you're making the choice, it feels like random. You know, like for instance, this card, it sort of talks about, like as an example, right? You just randomly decide to take a new path home from work that day. And because you took this new path home, you like avoided a really bad accident that you didn't even know like that was even going on, right? So it's like you guys, I feel, are listening more to your gut instincts. And even if it doesn't make perfect sense or it's ambiguous or random, you're trusting that your instincts are leading you in the right direction here. And I feel like this is part of the strength energy. It's like, you know, being still and observing, because the strength card can be quite stoic, right? It is sort of repressing and holding itself back, but it's also kind of stoic and it's also kind of still, right? It's like self-control energy. So I feel like through that self-control, you guys are more in tune with your intuition. And we do have this man holding a heart underneath the deck. And underneath of that, we have adjacent possibilities. You see, that's kind of like the example that I was sharing with you guys with Goddess of the Moon. I feel like you're taking some sort of different path or making some sort of different choice this month that could be a little bit out of your comfort zone, that could be leading you to this person, like a new romantic interest in your life for some of you, or it could involve like a current partnership. Maybe this man holding a heart is someone that's currently in your life if you're in a relationship. But I do still see with the attachment card here, there's an energy of leaving behind, kind of like we were talking about with the North Node, right? Attachments represent those old patterns that keep us chained, that keep us stuck, that keep us, you know, from progressing. And this is telling me with the North Node that you guys are breaking away from that this month. You've learned this lesson already. You understand, you know, any quote unquote mistakes that have been made in the past. You're understanding the spiritual significance behind it. And now it's time to detach from that and shift into the new you, the new approach that you're taking to relationships. And this is opening up this beautiful change in your personal life, the door to personal healing and happiness. This is like the most blessed, beautiful energy. It signifies a change in circumstances for the better in your personal life, and that includes relationships, whether it be romantic or otherwise. It's kind of interesting, right, guys? Like when we look at your cards, like the attachment energy. I see this as this dark kind of gray energy that you guys are coming out of, coming into the month of February in order to like welcome in this beautiful like abundance in your personal life. So it looks super beautiful. So let's get a few more cards, pile one, and just see what other info you all need to know. So tell us a little bit more about pile one. What else do they need to know? The other thing I'm going to say is like with the strength card here, this is Leo energy. This is courageous energy. And stepping into that North Node, stepping out of the comfort zone, right? It does take courage. It does take strength. The strength card, it's not just about withholding and being, you know, taming impulses, but it's also about courage, mustering up the courage to take the action that needs to be taken and do the thing that needs to be done. It's not easy to let go of things that we're comfortable in. It's not easy to let go of attachments, but I feel this is the key focal point for you guys this month, specifically around these relationships or a relationship. Ooh, we have healing the heart coming up. So heart chakra energy. Yeah, and look at this. At the bottom of the deck, we have birds of a feather. So this could, again, have to do with friendships or a group of people. It can definitely talk about romantic stuff too. You know, everybody watching this may be in a different, slightly different situation, but this is heart chakra energy. This is also representing the energy of the heart as well. Water energy with both of these cards. I feel like you guys are stepping into a place where it's like you are moving on, again, from something in the past, an old relationship, a toxic pattern, even just like being hung up on a situation that was maybe keeping you stuck and preventing this beautiful progress that you're being guided to move into in your life. And I almost feel like you guys are just intuitively deciding on this new path this month. You may not even be planning like to detach from whatever this is. It's just going to be this change, this shift within you as you're moving through the healing process. Excuse me. This is about recovering, right? It's about recovering from heartbreak of the past and moving through that healing. And the healing process is uncomfortable, right? It is uncomfortable because we do kind of go through this gray, cloudy energy when we've gone through like a breakup or we are releasing something. Even if it's, you know, that it's good for you to move out of that situation, it can still hurt, right? It can still hurt. Again, coming back to the North Node, the change is not necessarily easy, right? There's more of an emphasis here, I feel, for you guys on like friendships and community. And again, connecting with people who are birds of a feather, like people that you want to flock together with, people that share similar interests, similar values, where you can show up and be generous in the connection and you see that appreciated and reciprocated. And it's not something that's just depleting you, like I feel you all have dealt with in the past. Okay, so let's just get a few more cards, pile one, and then we'll move into your charms in just a minute. All right, energies for pile one in the month of February. We have evaluation. Feed out what doesn't serve you. Reevaluate the situation. Yeah. Makes a lot of sense again with that strength card, right? It's like there's definitely something here that you are realizing does not serve you in your highest good anymore. And that it's time to step into these newer, fresh energies that are being presented to you. One more here. Leap of faith, taking a risk, stepping into the beauty of the unknown. I mean, just confirms exactly like what we've been talking about this whole entire time. It's risky, right? It feels uncomfortable to let go. But intuitively, you know it's time and you are shifting. We do have soulmate here at the bottom of the deck. The divine will provide you with love when you are ready. I feel like it's coming up this month for this group. The Two of Cups is definitely showing me an emotional connection based off like balance and harmony. And, you know, soulmate, we can have a lot of different soulmates in our life. And there are a lot of indications for you guys that this could be romantic in nature for some, but for others, it may just be friendship-wise. because this card kind of gives me friendship energy. But then look, underneath of this, we have the Rose's Kiss, which is so romantic. I feel maybe for some of you guys that you're meeting this new soulmate or this new person in a group. Like maybe they're part of some sort of group or some sort of community space that you go to, because it seems like you would share a similar interest to this person, like you're birds of a feather in a way. But, when you're ready, the divine is providing you with love. Okay, so I still feel like this group needs to continue to focus on healing, right? The healing heart. And still needs to focus on, cultivating these good habits in relationships that you're working through based off the lessons you've learned in the past. Don't let it close you off from new opportunities. But I feel like what this is saying is when you really embody that energetic shift inside of you, that's when the love comes in. That's when the new person comes in. Okay. And I feel like that's happening this month for you guys. I feel like you're there already. But if you're not feeling like you're there already, that's just the message of guidance that I'm getting for you. Okay, so let's just pull a quick self-care oracle card, and then we're going to move into your charms. So pile 1, self-care messages for pile 1 for the month of February. This energy just feels so light and optimistic and exciting, you guys. Definitely curious to hear how things have been going for you leading up to this month. We have create art. Okay, so this month, your self-care guidance is to create art, whether you are an artist or whether you are, I wonder if this could be where you would meet the person, is through doing something creative, like a hobby or interest that you enjoy. We also have the message of pleasure here at the bottom of the deck. So I definitely feel like you all have, like with the Strength card, there may be a lot of pent-up creative energy as well. And maybe like part of this practice is this shift is like instead of being impulsive and acting on attraction to a romantic partner that's new in your life, channeling that creative energy into like artwork or something creative that you can be doing, a hobby or interest that sparks your excitement. But yeah, creating art, it doesn't have to literally be painting and drawing like in this picture. It could be really anything that you like to do that's creative, that allows you to express yourself. So pile 1, this looks really interesting. We're going to go ahead and clear all the cards off, and then we're going to jump into your charms. All right, pile 1. So let's go ahead and get into your dice and your charms. And let's go ahead and see what else you guys need to know about the month of February. All right, so we've got first quarter moon here. We have the number 8, it looks like here. We've got Ooh, look at this. There is definitely love life energy, like someone new. And then we've got, or maybe it may not be someone new, but it could be. Social life energy here with Venus. Okay, and then let's go ahead and we're just going to grab a few charms. So what does pile 1 need to know about their upcoming month of February? Okay, so we've got the little heart here. We have the little skull and crossbones. We have these guys coming up in the home and family section. We have the key. I wasn't like planning to do this, but I kind of want to drop this rune and see what section it falls on here. So let's see. Okay, so it doesn't want to be on the board, so we'll just keep it off to the side. Generosity being the theme of that. Okay, so what is happening? So the first thing that really is jumping out at me is all of this up here, because I feel like this really ties in with a lot of the themes that we've been talking about in your reading so far. And it's like romantic love, but it's also social life. And that, like, I kept getting both, right? Like with this card right here and this card right here and like all of them, right? I kept kind of getting that there's both that are important this month. So we have Venus here coming up in your social life. Venus is about like how you choose to be loved. It also talks about your values, right? What do you value? What do you hold value in? It also can talk of love and relationships, right? So I definitely feel like a lot of you guys could be meeting a potential romantic partner through others, like through a social network or something like that. But I think it also ties in with this harmony energy and really making sure that with your social life, your friendships, and your romantic partnerships, that things feel balanced, right? We have that balanced emotional connection, that balance, generosity, rather, exchange of give and take, and that being something that you're valuing in your relationships this month. We have this little cup here, which talks of love and relationships and feelings. Like, to me, this is like the Ace of Cups. This is giving me new love energy. And with Scorpio coming up next to it, it's kind of interesting. So this is more water energy. Scorpio is, it's deep, right? It's about depth. It's about substance. It can be about like doing research. It can also talk about shadow work. I do feel like this group is coming out of, like when we look back at your cards here, you guys are coming out of this shadow work energy this month, or wrapping up some shadow work energy this month. So I feel like that's just further confirming, the need to like dig deep to understand those past patterns, those past attachments, so that way you can move into this North Node energy of shifting into the new approach as it pertains to love, because there is this new love coming through. Okay? And I feel like with Scorpio, this is like I was saying, it's about depth, emotional depth. And so maybe for some of you guys, like I was kind of getting with the Strength card, that maybe for some of you there's been more of an emphasis on physical attraction or more surface level things in your relationships in the past. Even just impulsivity, right? When it comes to that generosity, like not really thinking about it a lot before you just kind of give or overextend yourself, or maybe vice versa with the other person. This is not a surface level energy with Scorpio. This is like digging deeper than the surface. So it may require you to be quite vulnerable. We also have this key here under the finances and wealth section. So this wasn't like a super major theme that was coming up, but there definitely seems to be something you're unlocking this month with regard to your financial situation, some sort of information that's opening a door for you. Maybe that has to do with the adjacent possibilities card that we saw here. Maybe there's something about your like career or something about your financial situation that's linking you up with some of these people and some of this more prominent energy. Let's see what else. First quarter moon is talking about like taking action. Okay, so there could be with your well-being, there could be like more activity around that this month, like working out, I'm getting, maybe even moving through or still pushing through some sort of cycle as it pertains to your health or your well-being. Not a medical reading, but hopefully you guys get what I mean by that. There's something about like your wellness. That you're still kind of working through this month, because it's like the half moon, you know what I mean? It's like not, the cycle's not completed yet. If that makes sense, it's still going to require a little bit more effort from you. Home and family is also being highlighted. So the playing cards talk about like faded energy, and the butterfly talks about transformations and development. So I feel like there's also some sort of blossoming, like kind of going back to this personal word of personal healing and happiness. I feel that there's some sort of beautiful development that's happening with your home or your family situation, your living situation maybe this month as well. Like maybe you guys made some changes to your home. There's been some developments to your living situation. Something, again, that's faded. It's tied, again, into the North Node, right? Of you moving into your purpose and shifting into these new energies. Let's see. You have the number 8, and then you also have the skull and crossbones. Okay. So the skull and crossbones is talking about like being cautious, okay? To me, this really ties in with the goddess of the moon energy and also the strength card that we got, right? Because it's kind of like the change. that you're making, right? It's the spiritual lesson that you've learned is about like holding back and waiting to see how it plays out before you overextend your generosity to other people, right? So I see this as the confirmation of you really leaning into your intuition this month, listening to the red flags. And with the number 8, it's like, it's just confirming that this was a lesson, maybe a karmic lesson that you've learned. And this also talks about like success in achieving goals. So it's like paying attention to the red flags because spiritually, you know that there's like a higher purpose to achieve here. And it's not worth ignoring what your instincts are telling you anymore, positive or negative, you know? But yeah, this month, it looks really exciting, pile 1. I feel like there's a lot of amazing developments here in your relationships. I would love to hear from you in the comments how this resonates and what you guys have been moving through leading up to this reading. So please comment below and share. Please let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so that you'll be updated when I post the next reading. And I do look forward to seeing you there. Bye. Pile 1, as I was like clearing off your board, I realized I just completely forgot that you had this little heart here under that advice and guidance section. So I just want to squeeze that in really quick. So the heart, it talks about self-love and romance. So I think it's just like further confirming that through the healing of some of this old stuff and through developing and working on your self-love, it's improving your romantic connections. So I think still continue to work on your self-love this month. Don't lose sight of the healing journey. But also just know that the work that you've done is yielding in results with whoever this is or whatever this is you're connecting with this month. All right. I will go ahead and be finally done with your reading now. Bye. Hey, pile 2, and welcome to your reading. If you guys selected this little rune here, which the key word for this one is inspiration, this will be your message. So let's go ahead and see what's in store for you. We're going to start with tarot and oracle cards, and then we will be transitioning into some charms. I will have that timestamp below in case any of you like to just skip ahead to the charms. Okay? So, pile 1. Okay, so your key word on the rune was inspiration, and your first card is the 3 of inspiration, so the 3 of wands. We have the Muse of inspiration. Okay, so inspiration definitely coming through strong. The Muse of inspiration is actually the King of Wands, but in this deck it's the Muse. And then we have the energy of Pisces coming up. Ooh. Water and fire, but lots of fire, I feel. Okay, pile 1. What is happening this month? I'm kind of seeing a door opening for you intuitively when I'm looking at this card. Doesn't it look kind of like she's standing in front of a doorway here, getting ready to walk through? And I kind of feel that here. There's like some sort of path you guys are walking on. And with the Wands energy, inspiration being the key word, this is something that feels very exciting. Very exciting, quite optimistic. Could be something that you've been planning for your future for a long time. Pisces energy, with it kind of being the core here, at the core of the reading, Pisces is about like our dreams. It's like our hopes, our dreams. It's very spiritual energy. It's water energy. It's very emotional. So it feels like there's something that you guys are moving into, like a new door that you guys are moving into that feels very connected to your spiritual beliefs, or feels very connected to your emotional fulfillment, your emotional well-being in a sense. Or connected to like a dream, like a dream goal or inspiration that you have. But the beauty here is that with these wands, it's like there's action, like you're taking action toward whatever this is. The 3 of Wands talks about planning, right? It's when we have a plan and we're looking out into the future and we're kind of like getting all of our little ducks in a row. And you kind of see that here with the dominoes, right? Like she's stacked up all the dominoes. She's walking on them and kind of walking through this door. And the king, the muse of inspiration, or the king of wands, it's all about like stepping into that leadership energy, stepping into your power and like taking the lead and taking charge and taking action and just making things happen, right? Stepping into that masculine energy, even though this card, it's a muse, so it's not really depicted as masculine. But yeah, it seems like you guys are really goal oriented this month. There's something that you are moving into that's really aligned with your passions, your dreams. It's like you're taking action on your dreams. You're taking action on your inspiration. Instead of, sometimes Pisces, it can be very fluid, right? But it seems like you guys are really channeling that Piscean energy into a plan, right? Into something tangible this month. All right, tell us more, please, Spirit, for pile 2. What is happening for pile 2 in the month of February? What else should they know about this situation that we are reading on? Ooh, we have the Angel of Love. This could be connected to like romance as well for some of you. Let's see what else for pile 2. Ooh, and we have the man holding a heart. Maybe that's the King of Wands for some of you. And look at this. Door to Spirit at the bottom of the deck. So kind of confirming with Pisces, this month you're walking through it is a new door, right? It's a spiritual door. It's a spiritual path. Okay, we need to get the guidebook because I want to read to you guys about a couple of these cards. Starting with the Angel of Love. So let's pull her up. This talks about tender connections. Okay, this beautiful angel comes with roses in her hair and rose-colored wings. Did you notice the wings, the fire wings here on the muse as well? I noticed that when I was looking at that card. Just kind of an interesting synchronicity. She holds a rose quartz heart radiating tender and loving vibrations, bringing you compassion and affection. If you're looking for new love, this angel brings a message of its upcoming approach. Or if you're longing for deeper, more intimate connection with someone already in your life, she's here to say that far greater tenderness is available to you. Either way, remember that your first intention for tenderness must be directed inward, and the compassion that you demonstrate toward yourself will influence the energetic potential of these events in a significant way. The Angel of Love is smiling on you and forging connections in the energetic realm. Yes. And then you guys also have the man holding a heart, which, I feel is like that King of Wands. A male dealing with family, love, or emotions. So this talks about, for a man, this signals a greater clarity about emotions and their purpose in your life. There could be a more balanced approach to family and love at this time, even if these have been confusing experiences for you in the past. For some, this card upright could signal the presence of a new man. You can take the gender out of it. It can be a new person, right? This is just like an old kind of outdated deck, but the presence of a new person in your life, one who tends to be more thoughtful and aware. Whether or not this person is a love interest or a friend, they bring a high intention to help where personal projects, family, or home are concerned. So this is somebody that's very supportive, someone that's helpful, someone that is emotional, but also I feel like someone that is action-oriented. So let's continue. So it definitely feels like this month there's like a deepening of your romantic connections and also a deepening of your self-love. Let's see what else we get. Pile 2. What else should pile 2 know about this upcoming month of February and the situation? Ooh, we have Into Me, I See. And we also have this energy of feeling the world at the bottom of the deck, which is interesting because this really talks about kind of feeling the weight of the world on your shoulders, being very open and almost like empathic energy, like when you're feeling the emotions of all of the people that are in your world and kind of taking that on your shoulders, it can be really tough. So maybe even like practicing better boundaries around some of that this month would be significant as well, pile 2. But this card is making me feel like you guys are really working on opening up and being more vulnerable this month as well. It's so interesting because this is the general February reading, but both you guys and pile 1 had love life messages coming through, which is so interesting. But yeah, like you guys, this card talks about opening up to vulnerability, being more transparent. I think that there is a little bit of a struggle here with this because you can kind of see how this person in the card, they're still protecting themselves. We have the angel wings here as well. They're still protecting themselves, but there is this desire to open up to a deeper and higher level of connection with someone else. This card talks about intimacy. It talks about having trust in another person. It talks about letting down your rigid boundaries and allowing more connection and the willingness to be vulnerable, which makes a lot of sense with our man holding a heart and the angel of love coming through as well. For some of you guys, this may actually be related to like a long distance relationship of some sort, because the 3 of Wands can also speak of travel or missing someone, kind of longing for someone. And this card is actually giving me an energy of like travel, like long distance. Maybe Egypt is significant. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but it definitely looks like there's the potential for that travel energy here for some of you guys. All right, pile 2. What else do you guys need to know about what's happening in February and the energy that's being shown here? We have strength, determination, perseverance, and self-discovery. We have resolving issues, solving inner conflict with others, healing past trauma. We also have lovers, a passionate connection, shared vision, and values. You see, there's totally this undertone of a special connection here and wanting to resolve any conflicts. And maybe for you, my viewer, it could be that this man holding a heart and this muse of inspiration energy, this could be more your energy, right? It may not necessarily be another person. I do definitely see 2 counterparts here, though, for a lot of you. The angel of love and the man holding a heart. Like it feels like there's a couple that's being presented here to me, or 2 people. But I was going to say this could be your energy of being the one to kind of step into taking the lead on rectifying any problems that you've been having with someone else in your life. Could also just be talking about you stepping into the lead of healing the past trauma and working on being more open to love, working on that self-love as well, like the angel of love talks about here. Self-discovery coming up. So like it takes a lot of strength to look within and get real about like what our shortcomings are or where our self-love issues may lie. And I see this being a really major focus for you guys this month. It almost could be like somebody that you've connected with maybe that's at a long distance, or someone that you've been missing. I feel like it's possible that they are sort of the catalyst for you all looking inward and doing some of this inner work. All right, so let's grab a quick self-care message for you all for the month of February, and then we're going to transition into your charms. So for pile 2, self-care message for the month of February, what do they need to know? We have pleasure coming up here. We also have look to the stars at the bottom of the deck. So it could be like significant to look into astrology for you guys this month. Like studying astrology would make sense with some of like the spiritual stuff that we're getting with Pisces and the door to spirit. But yeah, looking into astrology could be significant. I also think this card is sort of echoing the message of intimacy I see around intimacy. Like it really feels that you all are wanting to deepen a bond that you have with someone, or just get more comfortable on your own with being deeper or being more intimate with others, whether that be physical intimacy or spiritual and emotional depth that you're exploring as well. I feel like it's kind of everything, you know? But this card, I feel also is talking about the need to have fun, you know? And I'm kind of like not showing it on camera because I don't want YouTube to like get mad at me. But you know, that energy of pleasure is also echoed through the energy of the wands, right? It's like physical, it's sexual, but it's also like having fun and being creative, right? So some of those themes I think are also tied into that pleasure message for you as well for this month. So pile 2, give me a second to clear off your cards. We're going to jump right into your charms next. All right, pile 2. So let's go ahead and we will transition into your dice and your charms. I'm going to start with your dice. And let's just kind of see what wants to land on the board for you. So what else should pile 2 know about this month of February? All right, so we've got the waxing gibbous and advice. We have Mars here under home and family. And look at this. We have more wands energy coming up for you guys. That's just so interesting. Am I missing one? I feel like something either like rolled off of the table. Oh, it's right here. It didn't land on the board though. Okay. Let's grab some charms. So pile 2, what should pile 2 know about this upcoming month of February? What other energies, situations, what info do they need? Ooh, okay. This is so interesting, you guys. Okay, wow. Okay, so kind of like in the beginning of your tarot cards, I was sort of getting, I wasn't necessarily getting a lot of love messages at the very beginning. I was kind of feeling like there's something else going on, that you guys are either like traveling or you guys are like something to do with going after a goal, like a career aspiration. And I kind of see a little bit more of that coming through here in the charms. Okay. And definitely I see love life stuff coming through. And it's interesting, some of the spiritual stuff here as well. Actually, I feel like I want to start down here because you guys have the teddy bear, the key, and the letter D. So the letter D can signify initials. I'm also getting this could be dad. Maybe like your dad is tied into this spiritual lesson here. The teddy bear talks about, the key word for this one is trauma, which is interesting because like when I think of a little teddy bear, I actually think of like childhood, right? But the guide talks about how this is associated with trauma. So I feel like there's something maybe you guys are unlocking spiritually this month as you're going within and doing some of this spiritual healing and reflection on yourself. I feel like you are coming to terms with maybe some sort of childhood stuff and kind of understanding yourself a little bit better in terms of like, okay, I experienced some things as a child. Doesn't necessarily have to be like the word trauma, but maybe there's some sort of pattern you experience in childhood that you're unlocking awareness to this month and how it plays into the way you show up in your life, right? Maybe specifically in your relationships. And you guys, like next to that, you have a lot of home and family stuff coming up too, right? We have Mars here. So there's definitely a lot of energy and emphasis on your home, which I feel like kind of made sense, right? Because the man holding a heart card kind of talked about somebody who's there to support in the home and family type of energies as well. Again, this could be your energy or somebody significant in your life, but there's definitely like an emphasis here with Mars, energy, activity around the home life. And it's interesting too, because we had this message of resolving conflict coming up for you. And Mars can also be kind of aggressive energy. It's passionate, which you had a lot of Wands cards, which could talk about passion, but it can also be like anger or conflict that comes up or aggression, right? So with the wheel here, which talks about navigation, and then we also have the clover, which talks about luck and abundance. Really beautiful. I feel like you guys are channeling this Mars energy into resolving issues with home and family, people in your space. And I'm also kind of feeling with this 4-leaf clover, there could be some sort of like lucky opportunity that presents itself to you around home and family, because the 4-leaf clover is very rare to find, right? That's why they say it's good luck, because if you find one, it's like rare. It's a surprise. So this could be some sort of lucky sort of random happening for you around home and family that allows you to navigate in a better direction. But I also feel like there's this energy of passion and excitement with all the wands that you had being channeled into home and family as well for some of you. Let's see, what else? You guys have the star here, which talks about dream fulfillment. This is under health and well-being. So your well-being is going really well. Maybe there have been some goals, right? Like maybe you've had like some fitness goals or something to do with your mental, physical, spiritual health that is coming to fruition for you this month. You guys also have the elephant that's here, which is under the finances and wealth section. This talks about community. So there could be maybe this is tied into home or tied into social life in some way, but something about the community is significant to your finances this month. Other people may be impacting or influencing it. We have the cross in career and business, and we also have the crown coming up here. So the crown talks about honor and respect. It's like regal energy, wearing your crown, being in charge, which makes sense again with the King of Wands. Remember, like, this wasn't necessarily giving me love life energy right at the beginning. So I definitely feel there's a lot more than just love that you guys are dealing with this month. Feels like family stuff is super significant. That's where the majority of the charms have landed. But you guys are definitely in some sort of leadership energy this month when it comes to your career, maybe leading a team for some of you. And the cross also talks about hardships, forgiveness, and unconditional love, which is really interesting because this angel card right here was unconditional love and self-love. So there's definitely some healing that's coming up in career as well as in your interpersonal relationships. And I feel like you guys are really spearheading, like taking the lead on healing and moving forward in this aspect. Now, you guys have the little wand card here in your social life and others section. So this is talking about like creativity, spirituality. It's also reminding me of the Ace of Wands, which is giving like excitement energy. There's a lot of excitement energy with Mars here with home and family, as well as dealing with other people. This could be social life or like friends, but I feel like for a lot of you, it's tied into like familial stuff, like your family specifically. And then you guys have this little diamond here, which is showing up under love and partnerships. This talks about like promises that we make to someone, commitments that we make to someone. So it could be like whatever the situation is that you're repairing or rectifying or deepening with someone else, there's like a new beginning here. There's a new promise being made, a recommitment being made, or choosing to heal and resolve this because of the special commitment that you have to this other person in your life. For those of you that are single, it could signify a connection going to the next level. But I feel like for a lot of you guys, it feels like there's some sort of existing situation here with someone versus new love. Now, your advice for this month, you have the waxing gibbous moon. This is talking about learning new things, okay? So I feel like this is where this key is that you're unlocking, right? You guys are learning something new about yourself spiritually, and the lessons that you're learning spiritually are helping you to resolve conflicts that you've been having in your life, and they're also helping you to step into your power. So I feel like, the guidance here is to just be open to learning new things and be opening to apply those learnings to resolve conflict and to deepen your intimacy with the important people around you. So pile 2, very, very interesting read. I would love to hear from you guys in the comments around what's been happening for you leading up to February. What parts of this reading resonate with you? Let me know. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell so you'll be updated when I post the next video, and I'll see you then. Bye. Hey, pile 3, and welcome to your reading. If you guys selected this little rune right here, which the key word for this one is the word humanity, This is going to be your message for the upcoming month of February. So we're going to kick off with your tarot and oracle messages, and then we will be transitioning into dice and charms. I will have that time stamped for you in the description box below in case any of you like to just kind of skip ahead to that portion of the reading. But let's go ahead and see what's in store for you guys. Overall energies for the month ahead. So starting us off, we have the Queen of Swords, the Queen of Voices. We have the Ace of Voices, which is the Ace of Swords. Ooh, and then we have Blackmoon Lilith, the energy of mystery coming up here. Very intriguing. Okay. So it definitely seems to me like a major theme with both of these swords cards coming up for you. Major theme for this month of February is around being very clear, mentally clear, and vocally clear. Air energy is very significant, heavy in your reading. So think of themes around communication, the way that you're thinking about things, maybe even like researching and comprehending information. And with Blackmoon Lilith being here, the key word on this card says mystery. So there could be something for some of you guys this month that is feeling confusing, right? Or something that requires you to do a little bit of probing or asking questions, something unfamiliar. Like there's an unfamiliar energy about for some of you. And this is why it's requiring some of this swords energy that's here. The Queen of Swords is all about like, you know, being fair and balanced, but logical, cool, calm, collected energy. And it kind of makes sense with humanity being the key word here. The Queen of Swords definitely stands on business, you know what I mean? And I feel like with Blackmoon Lilith's energy being right next to it, I'm definitely picking up on this like business minded or like, you know, Blackmoon Lilith can be quite rebellious in a sense. It's like that very raw, almost like dark feminine energy, if you will. And I feel like you guys are not taking any crap from anybody this month. Like you're very much in this position of like, standing up for yourself, boundaries being significant, but at the same time, with humanity being here, there's still this message around like maintaining the balance, right? Because the Queen of Swords can be really, especially with Blackmoon Lilith being next to it, I feel like this Queen of Swords can just be like very blunt or very raw in their communication, very cutting, right? And that's kind of amplified here even with an Ace of Swords. So there's still this need to approach the situation with humanity, seeing the humanity in the other person or situation or people, also connecting to the humanity of yourself. But there's definitely this like there's an edgy vibe that I'm getting from these two cards being here. But it's coming from a place of wanting to know the answers. It's coming from a place of feeling like we need to set proper boundaries and ask the right questions of other people, and maybe even stand up for yourselves in some capacity. I'm also seeing with the Ace of Voices like a perspective shift here this month as well. You know, the Ace of Voices is about like kind of having an aha moment or a light bulb moment where we're seeing something from a different perspective. And it's possible that maybe through you guys kind of rising up into this more rebellious kind of, I'm going to stand up for myself, I'm going to ask you the tough questions kind of energy. Maybe it allows you to see the humanity in the situation or the person at hand. But there's definitely a new way of thinking about things, a new way of being this month. Kind of thinking about it differently than you have in the past. And it could even be this whole energy, right? Maybe some of you guys coming into this reading don't feel comfortable with like advocating for yourself or setting proper boundaries, or, you know, maybe some of those themes have been challenging for you in the past. So the realization, the perspective shift could be about like, you know what? I'm just not going to give a crap. Like it's up to me to stand up for myself. I'm not backing down, you know? So let's continue pile 3. What else should pile 3 know about this upcoming month? Oops. Of February. What else is going on here? Ooh, we have Journey coming out of the deck here. Let's pop this over to the side. Okay. What else? And we also have yin yang energy. That's kind of interesting. Like, okay, we'll get to that in a minute. You guys also have the storm warning here at the bottom of the deck. So there's something like the storm warning, it can talk about like red flags that you're noticing about a situation, or feeling like trouble is afoot. So I think it makes a lot of sense that you're in this space, right? Of like wanting to make sure that you're being discerning, wanting to make sure that you are being really smart and maybe even like strategic about the way you're going about your situation. There's definitely some sort of movement involved here. There's some sort of trip, travel, journey that you're taking. Maybe some of you guys are moving or just traveling somewhere, and you have to kind of be on your guard. Maybe you need to ask a lot of questions about this. I think especially if it's like a moving situation for some of you, you're obviously going to be asking a lot of questions about like, you know, planning it and where you're going and all the things, finding housing. But even I could see this being like some of you traveling to an unfamiliar destination, like a foreign country, or being somewhere that you're not like familiar with that mystery. So it's kind of like this vibe of being on guard, right? Like making sure that you're being really smart about things and trying to ask the right questions before you go. We also have the yin yang energy coming up here. So this is kind of like the duality of masculine and feminine, or passive versus action, if that makes sense. Let's actually pull from the guidebook here. And let's see what we get. Ooh, passive versus active, intuitive versus logical. I mean, do we even need to read any further? Because to me, it's like the logical side is really standing out here with these voices. The Queen of Swords, the Ace of Swords are voices in this deck. The logical side, it's like maybe you guys are shifting more into that logical perspective this month. The intuitive part is still there because there's this vibe of like something ain't right. Or something feels off, or something is coming, and maybe it's about getting out of that. But it's using logic and discernment as you navigate. This card represents energetic life cycles, and its purpose is to help you identify the particular cyclic energy moving into or out of your experience. In the upright position, it heralds a yin cycle where most of the action seems to be happening under the surface of things. This is a time of great receptivity, intuition, and gestation. External circumstances may be forcing you to go within and examine present activity. It's an especially good time for completion, so wrap things up. Yin cycles often call you to be passive, yielding, and reflective, so open up to these sides of your nature. Being more than acting is the intention here, okay? In reverse, this card reveals a yang cycle, which is one of active, outgoing energy. This time calls for a more logical approach, which we're seeing here, of things, but the logic needs to be applied to purposeful action. Okay, so it's like setting the right intention through your logic. The cycle is often marked by creativity and new beginnings, which I see here. Sometimes with significant outer change. Let yourself apply more forceful energy to the task at hand and take advantage of this highly charged yang time. So, but I feel like both of those cycles are present here because the passivity or like the being is here, right? Like you have this really strong intuition where you're picking up on like maybe what direction you wanted to go. You're picking up on any troubles, that red flags that you're seeing, but at the same time, you're stepping into this logic energy with a purpose. So it's like stepping into that more logic energy to really tackle this problem or this task or whatever it is you guys are doing here. With that journey, though, it definitely seems that this is about a move of some sort. So let's continue. Pile 3. What do they need to know about the upcoming month of February? What else can you tell us about this energy that is here in this reading? Ooh, we have Call of the Muse. Look at this, a merry motive. So like, again, there's this undertone of you guys really needing to set very clear intentions, right? That is the goal here this month, because there is an air of like uncertainty that I feel with that Blackmoon Lilith talking about mystery. Something is not totally apparent to you. And it could have to do with your motives, right? It could have to do with like, why am I moving in this direction? Why am I doing this? Getting really clear with yourself about your motivations behind doing things so that you can channel that energy more effectively. We also have the call of the muse. So this is all about tapping into your creativity, right? Very different from the Queen of Voices. And I think it goes back to like the yin yang energy of like being logical versus being receptive. To me, this looks like a very receptive energy, right? She's dancing, but she's also receiving inspiration. She's receiving, like receiving inspiration from others or receiving inspiration, not feeling like you have to create all the solutions on your own, if that makes sense. It just feels very like intuitive to me. Creative expression, being in the flow of creativity, tuning into inspiration, allowing creativity without being self-conscious, and writing and journaling as a means of connection. So all themes associated with this card. Some of you guys could be writing down your thoughts, and maybe that's part of getting the clarity that you need. All right, what else for pile 3 this month of February? Oh my gosh, boundaries. Know when to put up and let down your walls. That is interesting because that's exactly what we're getting with that Queen of Voices. And this kind of ties back into the humanity piece of things, right? Because boundaries are important, but boundaries can also ice out good people, right? Like if the boundaries are too high. And so I feel like part of this month is about learning to soften and again, find that balance between setting those boundaries and protecting yourself, but also softening and kind of receiving. Again, seeing the humanity, being more of a human toward other people, with other people, if you will. That Queen of Swords can be very icy, you know? We have fear, expecting the worst, afraid of failure, wasting time on negative thoughts. I think that there's a realization here with this Ace of Swords that like the way you've been thinking about things has been blocking you. And I think a lot of this Queen of Swords and this Lilith energy is also coming from fear of getting hurt, because the Queen of Swords has been hurt in the past, which is why she's in this Queen of Swords energy, this discerning energy, right? I think that part of the learning, part of the realization for this month is realizing that like you can embody both of these energies, the yin and the yang. You can have the energy of receptivity and creativity and like going with the flow a little bit more, letting the boundaries, being a little more in flow, you know what I mean? Being softer. But you can also shift into that yang energy of being like having the boundaries and having like the action and the logic of things. I hope this is making sense, pile 3. I feel like this reading is all over the place. This is going to be your last oracle card that we get, and then we're going to move into your charms, which I hope will give us a little bit more detail here. So pile 3, what else does pile 3 need to know about the upcoming month of February? Ooh, we have clean your space. It's so interesting because all of these messages about clarity. So maybe like doing some spring cleaning, even though it's not spring, at least, well, where I live, it's not spring. Maybe even like decluttering your space could be significant to this month as well. But that this message of clarity like is super like significant with all the swords and now this coming up as well. Even clearing your space can help you to feel more light and more focused and more just clear. So pile 3, let me go ahead and get set up for the charms. I will see you in just a second. All right, pile 3. So let's see if we can get a little more intel into what's happening for you this month, because I just feel like your tarot messages were so like, I don't know. I couldn't really pinpoint what the specifics were for you. So let's see. What's ahead in the month of February for pile number 3? So literally, I don't think any of the, oh, okay, we have this one here. And we have this one here. None of the other ones landed, so they're not going to go on. Oops, okay. Now, let's take a look at some charms. So what is ahead in the month of February for pile number 3? What do they need to know? And I'm actually going to see if your little rune wants to go anywhere on the board too. It's so funny that that landed where it landed. Because I feel like that was your advice this whole time about humanity, seeing the humanity in others. Ooh, okay, interesting. This one's kind of like in the middle. All right, so what's up with you guys this month? Well, I definitely see with the water element being here under your love and partnerships that there is a need to focus on emotions more when it comes to maybe like your romantic partnership or interpersonal relationships with others. Kind of going back to that yin yang, that balance, right? Being receptive to love feels really significant this month. Whether you're in a relationship or you're trying to date new people, being receptive to love and focusing on that emotional connection is important, okay? And going with the flow, I think as well. Going with the flow when it comes to love-related topics. There may be other areas that you need to have boundaries in, but it seems like this month there's an emphasis on softening when it comes to romance, okay? You guys have a lot of stuff coming up in advice. We're going to get to that last. I'm just looking at everything else. There's a lot here in like the well-being and health section, as well as in the spirit and self section as well. I do feel like there is you guys have the squid and you have the skull and crossbones. Yeah, I feel like when it comes to like the well-being, you guys do have like some red flags popping up here, because the skull and crossbones is talking about caution and the squid is kind of similar energy. So there is something like when it comes to your, just like your well-being, where there's something that you need to be paying close attention to here. And this could be where we're being guided to set those proper boundaries, right? There's a number 2 here, which can talk about harmony and balance. So I think striving for balance in terms of your holistic well-being is really important this month, because it's about everything, right? It's about your space, your physical space, like your home where you live, that contributes to your well-being. It's about your relationships and the humanity behind them. It could even be impacting new beginnings that you're having as well, right? There's something here that you guys need to be paying attention to, like really asking yourself what's good for me in my life and what's not, and really seeking for balance to eliminate anything toxic from your life or from your space that is negatively impacting you. This is where the boundaries need to come into play with this area of life. The elephant card talks about community. It's kind of like, it was sort of here in between both of these. So it's making me feel like the boundaries may need to be like around maybe your relatives, your family, maybe just people that live in your home with you. If you have roommates, something along those lines, there's a need for balance here. And this, I feel like this is where maybe some of the red flags are coming in. You have some sort of changes in financial stuff as well, like this little navigation. it talks about navigating, like it's the helm of a ship. So it's like you're steering in a new direction maybe, or getting some sort of guidance. This could be what the journey is talking about as well. This could be related to a financial journey of some sort here. Maybe this is also something that's impacting your holistic well-being, trying to kind of navigate into a better space there for some of you. It doesn't feel like the optimal focus though. You guys have a lot more focus here on these areas, and I would say love as well. Now, under the spiritual/self section, we have the strawberry, the key, and then we have this little diamond. There's a new beginning energy here, right? This strawberry talks about this. It's associated with the season of spring. That's the key word. When I think of spring, I think of new beginnings, right? And with the diamond, this is about promises and commitments. There's some sort of like spiritual insight that you guys are unlocking this month. Again, it makes a lot of sense with the Queen of Swords because you guys have learned. You've been through a lot leading up to this point, and you've learned very important lessons about your life. And I feel like it's about taking the knowledge that you've unlocked and making a new promise to yourself. Like, this is my new beginning. I'm going to set better boundaries, but I'm also going to not make sure that negative thoughts aren't like negatively impacting my ability to receive love, right? It's about that balance. So there's like a new beginning in your spiritual journey, new commitments to self here, unlocked through lessons that you've learned in the past. And you've got a lot of things here. So like you've got the rune here, which is about humanity. You've got this little moon and stars, which is about being adored. You also have the letter E. So this could represent somebody's initials here. Maybe this is having to do with advice. Some of you guys need to hear about like a specific person, a specific situation. This could be like the name of your company. I don't know. But the letter E is an initial that's significant for some of you guys out there. I think just continuing to see the humanity in others, but also seeing the humanity in yourself, because like you guys are not meant to be this like cold robot energy all of the time. You know what I mean? I feel like you guys actually do have a lot of love to give and a lot of love to share with other people. So be gentle with yourself. See the humanity in yourself. And I feel like this is telling me that you guys are like adored and admired in ways that like you don't even really realize. I think other people look at you and they see you as like this really special person, like a dream. I don't know why that I'm getting that. It's in the advice section, but yeah, I feel like the advice is just to focus on the human aspects and don't feel like you have to be such a robot, a cold robot, just because you've been hurt and need to set boundaries in certain areas of life. It's like, don't let it spill over into other things, like your love, like your partnerships and your spiritual well-being as well. So pile 3, I don't know. Hopefully this made sense. I felt like your reading was all over the place. It actually felt quite mysterious to me as well, bringing Lilith back in. But let me know in the comments what's been going on for you. How do you feel like this resonates for what's going on in your life? I would love to hear from you. If you're not already, please do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell so that you'll be updated when I post the next reading. And I will see you then. Bye.